Hey guys, so I'm going to be remaking a lot of the video guides that I have in my Discord just because they are due for a little renewal, and I also have better mic now and a better setup basically to make them with because I didn't really understand filming back then, and now I feel like I have a pretty good hand on it, and I also can get through videos without talking too much now and explaining. So, welcome to new series. Just renewing every video that's in the Discord. The notes are the same because I don't need to change those. So yeah. This video is only for beginners though. If you are a beginner, you do not need to watch this. If you understand how the stock market works, if you understand how shares works, if you understand short selling, it's just super basic. I'm not even going to go over options yet. So, stock market basics for beginners. So, what is a stock? It is a share in the ownership of a company. So, of course, we have companies that are publicly traded and we have private companies. So, some companies that are publicly traded, you may know Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, which is Facebook, companies like that are publicly traded. And then you have private companies that I don't really need to go over. But next thing, so I'll go over how you would go to buy a stock and what brokerages I recommend. So I'll go over that. But basically, a stock just represents a small share of the company. When you buy a share of a stock, you're owning part of that company. So that is basically just what shares mean and what a stock is. So what is a market index? These are basically the big sectors that you hear about not sectors. These are basically the big indexes that you hear about all day: the Dow Jones, the S&P, the Nasdaq. On any news platform source, you are going to hear someone say the Dow Jones is up 100 points today, something like that. So you cannot trade these indexes or indices, however you want to say it, but there are smaller funds called ETFs that mirror these big indices that you can trade, and we mainly day trade these ETFs. So we'll get into those in a second. So as you see here, you can go through these notes yourself, so I'm not really going to go over what the Dow represents, what the S&P represents. You can read through those. They're in the Discord. But next we'll go over what is an ETF, so exchange traded fund. It's a pooled investment security, and it usually mirrors indices. So you have SPY and QQQ, which are the two most popular ones, especially to day trade. You also have IWM, which I don't have up here, but is also a popular one to trade. But SPY is the S&P, QQQ is the Nasdaq. They mirror those big indices, and you're able to day trade those and also buy shares in those if you please. IWM is for small caps. So obviously in SPY and QQQ, only large caps there because QQQ follows big tech. SPY is like the 500 biggest companies that are trading right now. So you get the point. And then IWM is mainly small capital stocks. So next we will go over how to invest long term, because I do really believe that learning how to invest long term and picking out stocks in a fundamental way and learning that first is way better than going straight into the charts and trying to learn technical analysis. You need to learn the basics, literally, for anything you trade. You can't just go straight into the heavy shit, and most people do. I don't know if I can say that here. That's fine. Anyways, so how do you figure out if the stock you want to purchase is a good investment? So I also have an actual written out sheet of how to funnel and pick long-term stocks in the Discord, so be looking at that. I don't believe it's on this guide, but it's posted in the Discord. But for beginners, I wouldn't use charts yet or anything like that. So what I would do is go to Yahoo Finance, which is written down here, and ask yourself these questions. Do they have continuous growth over every quarter? What does the company do? Does the company solve a problem? What do they struggle with? What does the company do well with, and what is their market cap, and is it undervalued or is it overvalued? Those are some good questions, and from there you can look at the company, make sure there's nothing, fishy going on, and make sure it is a good company and that they also do have room to grow, because that's always a good thing to look for. And that's kind of the short way on how to determine your long-term portfolio. So yeah, how do you research them? Yahoo Finance, great place, free, really easy to look at. You're just going to go on Yahoo Finance, look up a ticker, anything you want. I'll show you guys right here if it will work. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, okay. There we go. Search for symbols. Let's just go to Apple. So now you have everything you could possibly look at. News summary is basically just showing you price action, their PE ratio, EPS, all of that good stuff, last earnings. And then you have news, you have chart, community, people are sharing their thoughts, historical data. You could also check their balance sheets on their statistics, financials, analysis, options, holders, top holders, and sustainability. So you are able to really form a great opinion on a long-term stock by just looking at Yahoo Finance and the financials. So next thing though, how do you even actually buy a stock? How does one do that? First thing I'm going to say, if you are under 18, you will either have to have a joint account with your parents, or if they say no, you will have to wait. So you have to ask them first though. You cannot just create a joint account on your own. But yeah, that is what I consider. That is what I did. I had a joint account with my parents, but I believe Webull and Robinhood do not let you have joint accounts. I think it's Charles Schwab and some of the other bigger brokerages. So those are the three I do recommend though: Webull, Robinhood, Charles Schwab. Those are all great, user friendly, and set up for beginner traders, especially once you start getting into options. Webull and Robinhood are both great for their options trading setup. But here we have a quick screenshot of Tesla. As you see here, you can just buy and sell. Tesla right there. You could put in how many shares you want to purchase. You could put in a percent of a share. You don't even need to purchase an entire whole share. Then you have your market types and market orders. And then your order will be filled. It is basically really easy to purchase stocks, but the difficult part is finding the good ones. Next, short selling. I'm just going to quickly explain this because we do not do any short selling here, but basically it's when an investor borrows a security and sells it on the open market, planning to buy it back for less money. So that is someone just shorting a stock because they think that this stock will go down. It does have a high risk reward ratio. That is why we don't do any shorting in here. I personally don't short. If I think a stock is going to go down, that's where I do options and I buy puts on it. But wait to do all that. Learn this first. And then we have examples. You could go through that yourself. Next important thing when it comes to beginners. So you do want to have a good understanding for economic data. You want to be watching the news as well. If I didn't say that earlier, I might have not mentioned that. You want to be watching the news. That is what I did when I first started trading. I was watching the news. There is a channel, I think it's somewhere on NBC, something like that. They're on they're on Wall Street. They go live on the news from Wall Street. There's many people who talk throughout the day. It's great to just hear them talk about the economy and the things that they say, so you kind of get a hold on it, because learning about this is honestly like a different language. You need to put a lot of time in, a lot of effort in. But anyways, economic data understanding. Why is this important? So couple times a month there are different sort of economic measures that are posted. Some of them are to read inflation. So what is inflation doing? Some of them are about our interest rates, general economy, our like GDP, for example. That is about the size and strength of our economy. And yeah, those are mainly the pretty important ones, though. About inflation, which is CPI and PPI, those really measure inflation. Consumer price index, producer price index. Interest rates, those also go hand in hand with inflation. The Federal Reserve, they're the central bank, and they really decide and figure out a lot of the United States economic struggles. So yeah, please go over this. I don't need to read through it. I know you guys can read through this. So yeah, very basic guide though. Again, I'm sorry if you watched this whole video and you're not a complete beginner, because this is really only meant for beginners. So anyways though, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all later.